Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with the Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed. And it's still March, which means we are still going strong for our conversation about compulsions. And the past 2 weeks, I've been talking about compulsory sexuality, and if you haven't watched those videos, you need to go do it. But today I want to talk about something that you more than likely probably have heard, and that is compulsory heterosexuality, because we need to. So let's get into it. Jave, what's compulsory heterosexuality? Well, it's a term that was coined in 1980 by a poet named Adrienne Rich. And it actually talks about, it's essentially like a theory that talks about how our society, within our society, heterosexuality is assumed and enforced upon people by the heteronormative and patriarchal society. But like if we're getting into the specifics, it's essentially like a social conditioning that basically implies that like women and men, yeah, they are PB and J. They go hand in hand. Which like if you think about that a little critically, you're like, no, no, no. And if you're like, Jave, I don't think no. Okay. But there's like also a lot of discourse happening on like social media, like TikTok, around the conversation of like, do men even like women? That's why I'm like, do ya? But regardless, that's what compulsory heterosexuality is. It's also shorthanded as CompHet. And the discourse around it actually really lives when we're talking about lesbian and woman loving woman relationships, because that's where it's really like stems from. Also, the article that CompHet like really developed from actually is titled Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Experience. So you see how those things connect, and if you're like, okay, that sounds interesting, this is the article. As per usual, if you want to read it but you can't get it, hit me up. Okay, Jave, but like, why would something like this matter? Obviously, lesbians still exist. Yes, you were correct. Even with compulsory heterosexuality existing, lesbians do still exist. Women loving women do still exist. But it's important that we actually recognize it and understand what it is, because the way people think, our beliefs, things that we hold on to, impact a lot of things, including our actions. And so when we live in a society that is so hetero patriarchally rooted, it impacts a lot of other things. And so in the sense of compulsory heterosexuality, the social conditioning and this deep rooted belief that like, oh, men and women are supposed together, lends itself to a lot of violence, in the sense of people being like, oh, well, you're only gay because you haven't had me like have sex with you, and like that kind of messaging, which can often lead to instances of sexual assault. And so it's important to like understand this and recognize it, because we don't want to perpetuate harm. We want to stop the harm that is perpetuated against everyone, especially women. It matters in talking about it, because it also erases so many other sexual identities and orientations. If you are living in this notion of women are supposed to be with men, and that's the right way that everything's supposed to look like, you're really boxing people into something that they probably don't want to be boxed into. So it matters that we talk about compulsory heterosexuality, and that we can look at it and like really think critically about it. It's also important and matters because compulsory heterosexuality, and what it stems from, that framework, that theory that Adrienne Rich was coming from, works to distinguish lesbianism as being like deviant and abhorrent, and tries to make it invisible, as if lesbians don't exist. But they do exist. And so we're not here to push people further onto the outskirts of life and society, and make them feel like they are not valid and their lived experiences don't matter, and that the love that they have for people is not important or worthy. It is. And another reason that understanding compulsory heterosexuality is important and matters, especially in terms of like someone like me, is because compulsory heterosexuality has like a very deep, strong intertwining with internalized biphobia. And just it's so multi-layered. It's so multi-layered, and I'm not gonna get into it. We ain't got time for that. But it matters because it touches in all these different areas. Like, it's not just like this like individual siloed thing. Like, no, compulsory heterosexuality seeps out, and it touches so many different aspects that lead to people being oppressed and marginalized and enduring violence and pain and hurt. And we don't want that. Okay, Javay, but like, how does it actually show up? Like, I don't even know. I don't think I would ever recognize it out in the wild. Fair. You probably would not have known that you were recognizing, but I'm pretty sure you've seen it happen, or you might have even experienced it yourself. So in terms of like queer and like woman loving woman and lesbian relationships, like when they're asked like, oh, who's the man in the relationship, the notion that like, oh, there's has to be someone that fits this like idea of what a man is supposed to be in a romantic relationship, that compulsory heterosexuality. Just the general assumption that like, oh, everyone's straight, everyone's obviously like gonna be with the opposite sex because duh, compulsory set heterosexuality. And another really big one and the way it shows up is the notion that like if someone were in a relationship with a man and they were to engage in any type of activity with another woman, that it's not cheating because it's another woman. That is compulsory heterosexuality, like deeming things as invalid because a man is not a part of the picture. A man don't gotta be part of the picture at all. So yeah, I'm pretty. You've probably seen it. You've probably experienced it. Compulsory heterosexuality is mixed in real good, truly. And if you're like, all right, Jave, I hear you. This does sound kind of crappy. What can I do to like, not, with CompHet? Awareness. You got to be hip to you. You got to check yourself. Which is all this month. That's probably what I'm going to offer as the suggestion, because unless you are someone in a real position of power, these systems are going to take some work to change. So checking yourself and recognizing like, oh, am I making assumptions about people under the guise that like it's always supposed to be like a man and a woman? Think about that. Or am I invalidating this lesbian relationship because I'm holding on to some like compulsive heterosexual like ideations? Yeah, think about those things. Like double take a double take. Dang, words are hard. I've been in class, y'all. But so take a double take and actually think about things a little bit more critically, and also on like the personal level, evaluate, because as I brought up, like compulsive heterosexuality has some deep intertwinings with internalized biphobia, which lead people to like not necessarily fully explore their sexual orientation and identity. So do that. Just like take some time, really think about things and be like, is this social conditioning or is this what I really want? Do that. But yeah, that is a quick little rundown on compulsive heterosexuality. And if you're like, ooh, you know what, Janae? I would love to learn more. Again, read this article. But also, you can also check out one of my cohort mates on TikTok who actually talks about this, and it's part of like their dissertation topic. So go give Mallory a follow. Learn some more about CompHet and just like really like sit with things. Think critically about some stuff. But definitely make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because if you're not, I'm gonna fight you. It's Women's History Month. I'm a woman. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, make sure you follow me on all the social media platforms, because different content everywhere. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my podcast. I know I'm behind, but don't you wait. The semester kind of threw me for a whirlwind, but there are about to be some episodes coming out, and you're gonna be mad if you miss it. So subscribe to it, and definitely make sure you sign up for my email newsletter, because as always, we never know if I'm gonna get the boot. So if you want to stay in contact with me, this spot right here and my email list, the best places to be. But yeah, until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Deuces.